Hi everyone, hope you're well. My name is Kiki Roosli and I'm an artist, a painter based in Tramore, County Waterford. I'm in my studio here. It's quite messy, very messy studio. There's mess everywhere, but I'm gonna paint something kind of Christmassy here today. As you can see, I have turned myself into Rudolph, and we've got some tinsel here. So today we're going to try a robin, and I'd like to say thanks to Waterford Libraries for asking me to do this. So the tools you'll need: I've got this little square canvas, look. You can get those in art supply shops, you know, or kind of places like Cahill's or Mr. Price. Maybe. I use paper plates to put my palette. These are the colours you're going to need: blue, white, yellow, red, maybe a kind of an autumn yellow if you have it. You could mix a bit of red maybe with some of the yellow. It'll give you an orangey kind of with a bit of brown maybe. So a couple of browns there, and I've got some black. They're the colours you'll need. And you're going to need a jar of water, some brushes, and a pencil. The first thing I did was I put a little base coat on this. So the canvases come primed, okay? But I put a little white base coat on it. It's just white again on top, just so that the paint that you're going to put on top is going to glide better on it. Also, the paints I'm using are acrylics. So here's some of them, look. So it'll say acrylics on it, okay? Because they give really good coverage and they dry really fast. So you layer up. So we'll see how quickly we can get a robin done. I hope you can see. So we're gonna do, I do kind of quite unusual shapes. I like to keep it very pared back, you know, just really simple. So I like to make the birds look like little kind of eggs nearly. So I do a kind of an oval shape. Look, so I'll show you closer here. Going along, okay. I'm actually going to do this with a brush, I think, because you'll see it better. So just going to do a little, maybe this yellow ochre outline, okay, so you can actually see it coming out, okay. So we're just going to draw an oval like that, nice big fat oval. You can be generous, okay. See? So you've got a little oval. It doesn't have to be in the centre of the canvas, but we'll do it like that one. We'll add in the legs after, so I can just do a little bit of a leg there, okay. So I don't even put really much detail in it at all. I'm going to come along, I think, best with our pencil. I'm going to do a circle up here. Big circle, nice big googly eyes. Two nice googly eyes. See that? Googly eye, googly eye. And then we're going to do a little beak down here. Actually, I do quite a big beak. So I use those circles to join up then. See, just like it's wearing glasses near like that. So join that line across there and then bring it down into a longish triangle if you want a long beak, okay? We'll see that better once it's painted. I love robins. They remind me of my granddad, because my granddad's birthday was Christmas Day and he loved nature. First thing I'm going to do is do the white of the eyes, guys. I'm just going to, so you're dipping into your white. I use these brushes. They're kind of flat edged. They're not too bristly. Some of the bristly ones are harder to use, so if you can get one of those, great. Also, what I forgot to say, I use kitchen paper to dab off any of the excess water, because you have to remember to rinse your brush in between each. So look, we're just going to put the white on there, fill in the eyes. I know it's white on white. You'll see it better afterwards. We'll add in other little bits of colour. So I like to cheat. I give a nice big, so do you hear me? I'm brushing, getting rid of my, rinsing out my brush, and I'm dabbing it off there. So I like to make them really cheery and bright. So I give them yellow beaks. I think they may have kind of more brown beaks. I think most birds kind of change colour beaks depending on the season as well. That would be kind of cool, wouldn't it, if you could change the colour of your nose? Although I do have a red nose today because I'm Rudolph. So don't be afraid. Look, you can just do this kind of stroke. Look like that, up, down. Or you can turn your brush on the edge. Look, do that. And if you go outside the lines, that is absolutely fine because you're going to be painting over that anyway. So give another rinse out. Now, probably come back with my pencil. What I do is, actually I'll do it with my brush so you can see. Okay, let's say, so you'll be doing this with a pencil, I'm doing it with a brush, but I like to give a big red belly, okay? So I'm going to draw a line, look, all the way around like that, like this, so it's like it has a little bib on, okay? Do you see? So you can do that with a pencil. I'm just doing it with the brush so you can see. So I'm going to colour in that nice red. Look at that. Very cheery. Imagine if you did these even on paper and you kind of cut them out in the shape and you had them hanging around your house. That would be kind of cool, wouldn't it? Could do that. So again, like I said, doesn't matter if you kind of mix with a bit of the yellow. That's okay. Don't worry about it. Take your time. If you need to turn your canvas or anything like that on the side, you can. You can turn it. You can turn it upside down if you like this, if it makes it easier, you know. If you're right-handed like that, it might make it a bit easier. There's a nice big bright red belly. Gorgeous, bright, cheery bird. They're beautiful little birds. I bet you see loads of them in your garden. See, it's already popping out. It looks like a little superhero. So, the robin kind of has a few different kind of feather colours. I like to exaggerate. I like giving a bit of blue. I'm going to make it really, really blue to start with, okay? And you can go all the way around. Sorry, I'm blocking it there. It's kind of cool if you make them look like, look, doesn't it look like a little super bird? So it's like a kind of a poppin' cool robin. I just think it gets a bit boring if you do pictures that look exactly like reality. I think it's a bit of fun if you can kind of vary it a little bit. We'll leave that dry then. So all the way around, I'm going to fill in the rest of the oval, and I'm going to do the top of the head as well. Bum, bum, bum. Ooh, I went inside the eye a little there, that's okay. Handy way to dry the stuff quickly, but don't go too close, is use a hairdryer. So that's actually even quite nice. I've mixed a little bit of the red with the blue there. Red and blue gives you purple. We don't want a purple robin, but it kind of gives a little kind of a darker kind of red there, just if you're mixing it a teeny bit. So look, give it a nice blue head. There you go. To give your robin a name as well. I'm calling him Christopher because that was my granddad's name. So it could be a girl, obviously, as well, if you want. Okay, so more or less, I'm going to give that a brush rinse out there. I'm going to give it little legs. Bit of this dark brown, maybe, mixed with a teeny bit of black. See, the way you can use the plate is actually really handy. They're just those kind of cheap party plates. They're handy because then you can just fold it up and throw it out when you're finished. So you have to be kind of steady with this, okay? So if you need to turn it upside down, do that, okay? So I'm using my hand, leaning it here, okay? When you have to do fine work like that with the straight line, just use your, see? Oh, I can see my antlers are casting a shadow on the canvas. I think I could quite get used to being a reindeer. Now, there's cute little legs. They're very cute, delicate legs. I love birds' legs. Okay, so you see where we're at now. Whoa, it's a cool looking super bird. We're probably going to change that blue. Won't be as blue, but you can do what you like. Obviously, you can experiment. You could do all sorts of birds in this shape. So like I said, you start out with that egg, kind of, it's like a little bullet. So I'm going to go back over the eyes. They're starting to dry. I'm going to go back over the eyes, and what I do is I kind of pull, don't like that brush, change the brush. Yeah, find the right brush will be good. There's a good one. The last one was a little bit too long. So look, I'm dragging it This is what I do. So again, I'm resting my hand here. If the paint is dry, that's great. So look, and drag kind of at that. So then you mix in a teeny bit of the blue, and don't panic if you've mixed in and it looks too messy. Just leave it dry, because acrylics you can just go back over. So we're going to define that. I'm dipping the corner of the brush, just a teeny tip into, hard to see, into that kind of yellow ochre to bring the eye around at that, okay? Just fill it in, okay? And then same on the other side, bit more white, little bit of yellow ochre, and I'm going to bring it, drag it around there. I mean, actually, what I do sometimes, I think I give the robins cute little kind of reddy brown eyes, almost like hens, because they're quite cute, because they've little beady eyes. They're real curious little birds, aren't they? I love when I see them in the garden. They're very friendly little creatures. I love the way they just hop around. Okay, so we've just gone back over the eyes there like that. See the little bit of yellow ochre on the edge there? The outside edges. We're going to give the robin pupils, which are the center of its eyes. I need to find the right brush. Now, rinse it out every time. You need to rinse out your brush in clear water. And then I'm just dabbing off extra water there. So, do you know what I love doing? Using the bum of the brush, so not the bit with the bristle. Using the other end, dip it into my black bum. You have to make sure the black is quite wet, okay? Don't if it has dried at all. And then I'm using my finger, again, to balance. And I'm going to go in and do bum, pupil. And same over here. And again, if you want to turn it around, I'm going to turn that. We'll go bum, pupil. Very cute. We're going to leave that dry so we can put in a kind of a highlight in it. Just going to wipe off the brush so we can put in a little bit of white afterwards maybe. We might even give this robin some eyelashes. I'm going to keep a very neutral background there. The white is working well because it's a little bit Christmassy like snow. So we're going to go back over this beak. So we used the yellow originally. I'm going to use a little bit of this ochre. If you don't have that, you could go a bit of orange on it, use a little bit of red mixed with yellow. So I'm going to mix in a little bit just kind of to make it a little 3D. So you have to decide which side is kind of going to be more in the shade. So I'm deciding that the light's coming from over here and this part is kind of going to be a little more in the shade. I mean, you don't have to do that at all if you don't want to. You need to do what feels right. And sometimes nice little accidents happen when you mix some of the paints on the canvas like that accidentally if you're dragging a bit in. Quite like it. So I'm going to give it a little bit of this brown there. It's quite it's called burnt sienna. It's a nice reddy brown. So you wouldn't need all these colours, you know, you could just improvise, so make it up as you go along. And sometimes the little characters kind of develop as you go. I'm going to use a bit more of that bright yellow, the bright yellow there. And I'm going along a second coat over that bit there. And you just drag it along there. Rinse out my brush. I'm going to give this a little highlight. So I'm dipping in, so like the sun is catching it, because it's so sunny in Ireland. There is some white on my brush, and again I'm using my finger there all the time to kind of anchor, so it kind of goes in at that. It's like a little lever, and you can just go drag that along there. If it's too wet, you can come back afterwards. So you can be quite definite on it. You know, I like kind of doing exaggerated stuff. So see how exaggerated that is. So, and then it kind of gives the idea that it's 3D. So I'm coming with a slightly bigger brush this time. I'm going to do the blue again. I just love it. It's like a super bird. So that blue, I'm mixing it with a bit of yellow ochre. Gives a really nice kind of greeny khaki. Do you see that? Mix it on your plate. And we're going to give some bits of the bird that kind of colour. Okay. Just go along, doesn't have to be everywhere. Drag it along. I'm going to give it a teeny bit of brown, teeny bit, and I'm mixing it in with it on the edge there, because they kind of have, they're grey, they're a hint of blue, it's like a little bit of khaki sometimes, which is that kind of army browny green, you know, so maybe they're done that way to camouflage themselves. That's what happens in nature a lot. So I'm doing the same up here. I still have plenty of paint on my brush. That's a nice fat brush. So ideally you kind of want to leave the layers dry a little bit more in between, but I'm not doing that. Okay, and I'm going to highlight again with another bit of blue and just come along kind of bit of blue there. It's cute. I like doing quite definite strokes, you know, kind of cute. Might give a teeny bit of white just to bring it pop. It's like little feathers. See that I did that? They're like little feathers. You could go with some kind of brownish feathers over this side if you wanted. I mean, you don't have to do feathers. I usually make them look less kind of realistic. Obviously, they're in no way realistic, these ones, but so he's a cool cartoon Robin. So if you do any of these, I'd love to see them. So send them on to Waterford Libraries. And Tracy is my friend. She works there and she will send them on to me. There is your Robin. I'm coming back with my smaller brush again, and I'm going to complete the red. So again, I'd like to give the illusion that it's a bit darker over here, so I'm going to make it lighter over this side. So I'm going to mix a little bit of red mixed with that nice yellow. If you mix that up, see that gives a nice bright orange. So I'm going to go quite orange on that side there. Okay, and then I'm coming in with some of the brown with the red, brown and red, to give a slightly kind of darker looking red. I'm going to go over this side. Nothing has to be perfect. And practice at these, you know. If you practice, you can get this thing called canvas paper in pads. Again, you can get those in any kind of art supply shops. Plenty, and they're open at the moment, so that's good. And I'm going to give the bird its petals, or not its petals, oh, pupils, I mean, on its eyes now. So we have the pupils, they're the black bits, okay? We're going to put a little highlight, so that's going to be white. So again, leave that black dry fully, okay? I'm doing the same with the bum of the brush, not the hairy end, the other end. I'm just coming in and I'm going to go land a highlight there, land one there, and it's harder to do when it's still a bit wet. So you see now, kind of makes it look like the bird has come alive. I love this color. And if you wanted, you could give extra feathers out the side. Look, I mean, you could go like this out the side. Then they start to get a bit more realistic looking. So I'm just coming with my brush with a bit of the blue like that, and I'll come over the other side with a bit of the brown. Look, I'm just doing this, see? See that? So you're kind of literally going bum, bum, bum. Okay. So if you want to add texture, you can. If you don't want to, if you really want to make it look just like a little bullet, you can do that. So quite nice. I like this. And then you have to think of a signature. And mine is Kiki. So I'm going to write that in the bottom. So whatever your name is, I just went with Kiki. So my name is Kira and my mum calls me Kiki. Kiki's easier to sign. Okay. So you could come up with an artist's name if you wanted, or you can use your exact name. So there's a cute little hairy robin who says, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas from the robin. And, ooh, I have to show off my antlers again. Rudolph. So, hope you enjoyed this. Love to see your pieces. Have fun and have a really good Christmas. Thanks. Bye.